went to college, you guys. Clap for me. I went to college. Thank you. I know some of you will feel like you want to boo that. Please don't. I went to college. I majored in philosophy, which is why I'm a stripper now. So choose your major wisely, I guess. I am a stripper, and I'm also a teacher. I teach children, probably your children. And I'm always afraid that one of the parents of the kids that I teach is going to find out that I'm a stripper, and they're going to get mad at me, and then I'm going to get fired over it like I am trying to seduce their children or something. Like, Karen, do you realize what a broke-ass scrub your child is? I don't fuck with that. Give him his allowance and then we'll talk. Please don't tell anyone that I just said that. I really like working with kids. They're very funny. They're funnier than I will ever be, which is very unfortunate for me. And they're also very mean. So that's also fun. My very first day teaching ever, I was teaching them about the solar system. And I was asking them, like, oh, there's a star in the middle of our solar system. Can anybody tell me what we call that star? Yes, you. What do we call that star? And I called on a girl in the front, and she stood up. I didn't ask her to. She stood up, and she goes, "You look stupid." Which really hurt because she wasn't saying it to be mean. She was just being honest. She was just saying it because it was true. Which is all the more hurtful. They're just really fucking mean. They're super honest. Right now I have a class of these kindergartners, and there's this little girl who is like my best friend in the class, and I hang out with her during recess, and one day somebody in the class shit their pants. And she's trying to get me to tell her who it was that shit their pants, and I was like, I'm sorry, Eloise, I can't give you that information, so I can't tell you that, I'm sorry. And she just kept trying to get me to tell her, and I was like, I can't tell you that, I'm sorry, I can't. And she was like, okay, well, tell them that this is the room that we eat in, so. Thank you for saying that, because that's what I was fucking thinking. She's such a little fucking psychopath, dude. Like, I was sitting with her at recess, and I made, like, I don't normally just sit here and throw these jokes out to children, but we were talking about tissues, and I made an offhand joke about how I keep a box of tissues next to my bed for when I need to get up and cry in the middle of the night. And she starts laughing. She thought it was hilarious. Thank fucking God. And she started laughing, and then she just stops and goes, yeah, I don't really cry that much, so. Excuse the fuck out of me, little Ted Bundy. Jesus Christ. Fucking psychopath. The youngest kids, like, are always the funniest ones. I was teaching another class of kindergartners, and I had a bucket of brightly colored balls, and I was asking them how many orange ones are in the bucket, and I'll tell you guys, there was 3. But the kid that I called on had a different answer. He said, there's 5,000 and they're all named John Cena. Which was the correct answer. And he teaches the class now, so that's his class. There was, in actually that same class, it was that same exact class, I was playing, what game were we playing? Was it Apples to Apples? Do you play that with children? That's not the vulgar one, right? Yeah, we were playing, and we're sitting, and this girl is winning the game, and it's her turn, and she's sitting there holding her fucking cards, and she's just like, out of the blue, I can't read. Bitch, I can. Like, why am I losing right now? This is fucked up. I teach a class of 2nd and 3rd graders writing and comedy sometimes and how to tell jokes. In one class, I was teaching them about, like, comedic comparison. I was teaching them how to roast people. I was having them roast SpongeBob SquarePants. And I got to listen to this girl announced to the class a really funny joke that she had written, and then I watched that same girl cry later as another little girl went up in front of the class and bold-faced told that joke like it was her own. a little microcosm of people. They're little adults. It was a teachable moment. We got to talk about, artistic ownership and why it's hurtful to steal other people's artistic material and why you don't steal other people's jokes. So I'm just going to tell you guys her joke. Her joke was, SpongeBob wears a suit and tie every day. What is he, my dad? Which is funnier than anything I've ever written, so fuck you, Zoe. It's fine now. I am also a stripper. I don't know if I have to say anything more about that, because a little while back, a couple weeks ago, I was doing this same set that I'm doing for you guys, and this guy came up to me after the show, and he was like, yeah, real good stuff. The part that confused me, though, is when you said you were a stripper, why'd you say that? What is confusing about that to you? Is it because I'm not currently nude? Is that, we put our clothes on when we go in public sometimes. So I am a stripper. That's what I do. I've been doing it for about 7 years because I do not have a complete college education in the right area. So I dance. I recently got a promotion, which just means that I got a boob job. Thank you. And while I was waiting in the office to get it done, I was talking to the staff in the office and noticing that the office was just covered in crystals and rocks, and the staff began to tell me what each of the crystals did, magically. And I can't tell you how disconcerting it is to know that you're about to have your titties cut open by someone who believes in the healing power of crystals. Okay, I think it's not okay for a doctor to believe in that kind of shit. I'm a stripper, so it's okay for me to believe in that kind of shit. And I do. I do. I believe in rocks and crystals. I believe in rocks. What a fucking dumbass. I believe in astrology, witchcraft, what have you. Maybe you guys yourselves believe in something that's completely fucking stupid. I believe in all types of stupid shit. I do all types of stupid shit. For example, I used to play the ukulele. The stupidest instrument on the face of the fucking planet. Everything sounds like Hawaii, okay? I learned to play Iron Man on it, which just gives you an idea of the way that I wasted my youth. So, I don't know. I played it for a while. I really did not like playing the ukulele, and I didn't like the vibe it was putting out. I didn't like the people that it was bringing out. I hated the fucking vibe, dude. I was like, this fucking doesn't rock at all. It was an electric ukulele, too, like a fucking idiot. I don't know if you guys know, I don't like the people that fuck with that shit. So I don't know if you guys know this, but the kind of guy who's going to bring his bongos over to your house is the same kind of guy who's never going to pick up his fucking bongos from your house. And now you play the bongos. So that's not something you have to learn, by the way. We all play the bongos. So I stopped playing it, and I learned something about myself, and that was that I didn't like playing the ukulele so much as I liked doing drugs, is actually what I really liked. So I cut out the middleman, I got rid of the ukulele, and I started doing drugs. But here's what they don't tell you about drugs, is that they are very addicting. So I developed a little bit of a cocaine problem, and I had to go to rehab, which is very fun. I highly recommend it. I love rehab. It was very great. They say all sorts of cool things to you. They got all sorts of cool sayings in rehab, like you stay in the barbershop long enough, you're gonna get a haircut. Or they say things like, let go and let God. Or your brain is broken and nobody likes you, and things like that. So my favorite thing that my counselor would say was he would always say, Well, I got news for you, buddy. And then it would be followed by something that was not news. He'd be like, you think you're cool when you're high? You think people like being around you when you're high? You think you're real cool, don't you? Well, I got news for you, buddy. You're not. Wow, Dave, I'm literally the one that told you that. If I was cool when I was high, I wouldn't fucking be here. So I'd be out there getting high. I'm here because I'm not good at it or fun to be around, okay? So yeah, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't smoke, I don't do any of that stuff. I don't miss it at all. I do miss smoking weed a little bit because I would get anxiety before I went to sleep, and so I would smoke weed just to like chill myself out a little bit, and I think that's a very common issue. So if you guys have anxiety before you go to sleep, here's a little tip from me to you. If you're having anxiety before you go to sleep, just close your eyes, count your heartbeats, and remember that each and every single one is being subtracted from a finite number. And then you realize that last one felt kind of weird. And then you just go the fuck to sleep. Maybe forever. I've been Wendy Weiss. Thank you, guys.